Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming, Bangboos. They're goofy, they're adorable, and they're surprisingly deadly as well. In today's video, we'll take a look at everything you need to know about Bangboos and how to turn your Bangboo into a murder machine.
Time to act.
Bangboos are these lovable, goofy, little bunny robots that run around the battlefield, causing varying degrees of destruction and mayhem. As always, I decided to dive way deeper into this rabbit hole than I should have, and I calculated how much damage every single Bangboo can do, which took a couple thousand Excel cells to figure out. Now this is going to be a jam-packed video, so let's bang this boo out. Right off the bat, there are two ways to improve your Bangboo. You can level them and you can feed them dupes of themselves. When you increase a Bangboo's level cap, their active skill and chain go up by 1 level, and by the time your Bangboo is at level 60, they'll be at skill and chain level 6. Then you can further increase their skill levels by using copies of them to increase their stars. Each star gives them 1 additional level to their skill, chain, and passive. And a maxed out level 60 5-star Bangboo will be at skill level 10, passive level 6, and chain level 10. For skill levels and chain levels, by the time they reach level 10, their multipliers will increase by 90% in comparison to a skill level 1 Bangboo. Now let's go over how Bangboos work in combat. Every Bangboo has an active skill that usually deals damage or provides some kind of support for the team. These abilities all have a cooldown typically between 12 and 30 seconds. Once your Bangboo decides to perform their active skill, exclamation marks will appear above their head and then they'll do a goofy little animation before performing their active skill. Next, every Bangboo has a passive, which is dependent on or potentially enhanced by having specific party members with that Bangboo. For example, the Penguinboo gains 60% anomaly buildup with 2 ice agents in its party, and it's generally important to consider a Bangboo's passive when it comes to team building. And most Bangboos also have chain attacks as well. You can trigger these chain attacks against a boss type enemy, where you have the option of using the Bangboo for the third part of the chain attack. And don't worry, your third character will still do their chain attack right after the Bangboo. One situational way to get Bangboo chain attacks off against non-boss enemies is to stun multiple enemies one after the other with your chain attacks. This will continue the chain from where you left off, and thus you'll be able to reach the elusive third part of your chain like this. However, what if I told you there's another trick to guaranteeing Bangboo chain attacks? By bringing 2 or even just 1 agent, you will always have the option to use your Bangboo's chain attack when you stun any enemy. With just 1 character in your party, your character will even do their chain attack after your Bangboo's chain attack. Truly a character's best bunny robot friend thing. This is incredible for individuals that enjoy solo challenge runs, and you can even clear some of the mid-game difficulty content with literally just your Bangboo's damage. Now keep in mind that not every Bangboo has a chain attack, so you do want to keep an eye out for that if that's something you want. Next, let's talk about some of the goofier aspects of Bangboos. Bangboos are unreliable at best and completely incompetent at worst. They will often just stand around, not doing anything, or get constantly stun locked by the enemy. I do think that smacking an enemy repeatedly helps the Bangboo realize that this enemy is trying to murder me, so you should try to murder them. Fortunately, while Bangboos can be attacked by enemies, and even though Bangboos have an HP stat, I haven't seen a Bangboo die in combat, but maybe I just didn't put my Bangboos through enough abuse for them to actually die. So let me know if you've seen one of them meet their unfortunate end. Bangboos also use their own stats to calculate the damage they deal. You can increase the damage that Bangboos do primarily via debuffs on the enemy and Lucy's cheer on effect. For example, these comical damage numbers you're seeing right now from Cryboo is in the Shiyu stable H1, which jacks up fire Bangboo damage to the stratosphere. There are a few additional quirks about Bangboos that usually aren't too relevant for gameplay, but from what I've seen, while Bangboos apply a decent amount of anomaly, they can't actually trigger the anomaly. As we can see here, the physical anomaly of this enemy is full, but Sumoboo's attack isn't triggering assault. So this means you actually need a character that can apply the anomaly of the Bangboo to trigger said anomaly. Speaking of anomaly, since Bangboos don't have an anomaly proficiency stat, while they do contribute anomaly build up towards a status effect, they won't increase or decrease the amount of damage done by by the anomaly in question. This is a bit complicated, but just know that Bangboos do not mess up how much damage you can expect from your, for example, shock damage or assault. Alright, without further ado, let's bang out these calculations. First, let's familiarize ourselves with this massive chart. Now the skill damage listed here is assuming things go well and the Bangboos actually attack as expected. And as mentioned earlier, Bangboos are incredibly unreliable, getting tossed around by enemies, missing their attacks, and just being a bunch of goofballs, so I'm likely overestimating their skill damage performance. And the damage ranking factors in 1 chain damage as well as 40 seconds worth of skill damage. This is basically assuming you're fighting a boss in the endgame, and I know this is not realistic or applicable to every scenario in the game, but hey, we have to base our calcs on something. Next, we have the chain time, which is how long it takes for Bangboos to execute their chain attack. When Bangboos perform their chain attacks, the enemy stun bar starts to tick down, thus losing you time on your DPS character. As such, the shorter the chain time, the better. And the anomaly here indicates how much anomaly your Bangboo applies. And finally, the days here is how much days your Bangboo applies over 40 seconds of skill. I didn't factor in days from a Bangboo's chain attack because, well, when you're using a chain attack, it's against a stunned enemy. Now we're also evaluating all the Bangboos throughout the video at level 60 with 1 star. It will be easier to get A rank Bangboos up in stars later on with their dupes, but for now most of us are probably considering 1-star Bangboos. Either way though, at the end of the video, I will show you a comparison between A rank 5-star Bangboos with S rank 1-star Bangboos. Anyway, this is all just a starting point for the calc, so please take these calcs with a grain of salt.
Time to act.
So let's start with the first Bangboo you get, which I think it was Bagboo. Regardless if it was the first, let's start with Bagboo. Anyway, our good friend Bagboo is a very standard Bangboo. In fact, it is just literally 1 letter off from being Bangboo. Bagboo simply attacks her enemies and has a very convenient passive of only needing a single attacker on its team to increase its chain damage. Overall, a perfectly reasonable starting Bangboo that's also middle of the pack in damage at rank 10 out of 20. Now Paperboo offers a bit more utility than Bagboo, providing a small shield every once in a while. It also taunts the enemy, deals a bit of damage, and has a fast chain time. Again, chain time is how long it takes for the Bangboo to finish its chain attack, and this is how much time it's taking away from your DPS character. So yeah, sadly there is usually an opportunity cost with using your Bangboo in your chain. Paperboo's 1.08 second chain time though is pretty fast for a Bangboo's chain attack. Boollseye is another A-rank physical Bangboo that just focuses on dealing damage, and interestingly it needs a character that deals Pierce type damage to gain 30% chain attack damage. Pierce type damage is dealt by currently Grace, Billy, and Anton, but more characters will eventually be added that deal Pierce type damage. Boollseye is overall the hardest hitting A-rank Bangboo, ranking in 7th place in overall damage, but it does have a very long chain time of 1.72 seconds. Sumoboo is adorable and will do some funny sumo stomps before yeeting itself at an enemy. Sumoboo's attacks can interrupt some enemy attacks and it accumulates days quite well through its active skill. Bringing a stun agent with Sumoboo will situationally further improve its dazing capabilities. Sadly, I have seen this thing belly flop a lot, whiffing its target, but if you're looking for some additional days, well, Sumoboo is an option that exists. Next, Cryboo is one of my favorite Bangboos because you can get some really comical damage numbers like this. Now before you go off building your Cryboo, just know that this is entirely because of Shiyu Stable Floor 8-1's buff, which drastically increases fire damage by a colossal amount. Outside of Shiyu Stable 8-1, Cryboo will perform about as well as other Bangboos in terms of damage, being one of the lower damage per rotation rank Bangboos at rank 13. Still, Cryboo applies a solid amount of fire anomaly, especially with 2 fire teammates which increase its anomaly buildup by 60%. Anomaly Bangboos like Cryboo are mainly intended to be used for building anomaly. It does struggle to hit enemies with its bombs as well, which is admittingly very sad. Rocketboo is basically the S-rank counterpart to Cryboo, with its passive providing 100% additional anomaly buildup in comparison to Cryboo's 60% at 1 star. While it's generally easier to get stars on 4-star Bangboos, it won't be until Cryboo is at around 3 to 4 stars where it starts to apply more anomaly than Rocketboo. Rocketboo is also a bit more competent at hitting its enemies and can also deal some comical nuke damage in 8-1. Anyway, both of these fire anomaly focused Bangboos are great options for your fire teams. Rocketboo is also notable because it has the fastest chain attack out of all the Bangboos, allowing your DPS characters like Soldier 11 to act faster than they otherwise would be able to. Let's knock them out cold with both the Ice Anomaly Bangboos, Penguinboo and Sharkboo. As you might expect, these are fairly similar with some differences. Like their fire counterparts, Penguinboo is the A-rank Bangboo while Sharkboo is the S-rank Bangboo. Penguinboo is notable for having the longest chain time, which is a bit unfortunate, but also incredible Ice Anomaly application. So yeah, you definitely have a trade-off between these two Bangboos, and honestly it's a bit up to preference. Sharkboo's traps will also linger on the field and slowly chase down your enemies, which can be nice as some enemies can even be hit by multiple traps in quick succession. While it might look a bit bleak for Sharkboo based on just these calculations on paper when it comes to damage and anomaly, Sharkboo does have its advantages, having a very quick chain attack as well as things that are more difficult to quantify, like for example the lingering traps that it makes. But yeah, both of these Ice Bangboos are quite viable and solid options. Continuing on with our Anomaly Boos, Electroboo and Plugboo are the A-rank and S-rank Bangboos for the electric element. Plugboo is a shockingly heavy hitter, ranking 4th in overall damage. Both of these Bangboos are great options for electric teams to apply more electric anomaly, and they are surprisingly similar in performance. They apply similar amounts of anomaly and have similar chain times, with the main difference being the damage they output. So yeah, overall it's hard to go wrong with either of these Bangboos. Up next are our Ether Boos, Devilboo and Resonaboo. Let's start with Devilboo. Devilboo is one of the most reliable Bangboos, interestingly enough. After using its chain attack, it will perform coordinated attacks when you smack the enemy with your basic attacks. Even its active skill is a bit more capable because it will shoot 3 shots consecutively at an enemy. I believe Devilboo can also activate Lucy's Wenjin a few times, Kaboom the Cannon, although more testing is needed here, but I was seeing around 3 stacks with the Kaboom. Devilboo definitely needs more testing and has some interesting uses, so I think we're going to need a bit more time to completely figure it out. Resonaboo is another very solid Bangboo, providing some grouping capabilities. Its radius isn't impressive, but once it snags up smaller enemies, they tend to get stuck there pretty well. Both of the Ether Bangboos are actually very competent in comparison to their peers. Funnily enough though, we currently only have one Ether agent, although that will change soon enough with Zhulian's release. Both of these Bangboos will be valuable on Ether teams, since the Ether 4-piece drive set really appreciates corruption being on the enemy. Alright, let's go through the hard-hitting physical damage Bangboos, starting with Bangvolver. Bangvolver has some RNG, but it's one of the high DPS Bangboos at rank number 2. Interestingly, it has an anomaly passive, so it also applies a ton of physical anomaly as well. This might sound like Bangvolver is Bangboo power creep and has the best of both worlds, aka both damage and physical anomaly application, which it does, but it does have the weakness of taking a lot of chain time in comparison to its peers. Still a very solid Bangboo that goes out with a bang. Nicole's signature Bangboo, Amillion, has the highest potential chain damage against one target with 2 Cunning Hair characters, and thus it is a great option for 2 character Cunning Hair runs. With Ambi and Nicole as well as a well-built Amillion, you can probably clear some more content than you might expect, although I don't think you can comfortably clear the hardest content in the game with this. Amillion is a hilarious Bangboo, shooting countless shots at its enemies, and is overall the best DPS Bangboo. Sadly, it does have a long chain time, but I guess you get what you pay for. Safetyboo is one of the cutest Bangboos around, driving its heavy machinery into its enemies. Safety is at a very solid rank 3 overall for damage, although its conditions are a bit of an issue, requiring 2 Belobog teammates and either shock or burn to be on the enemy to maximize its damage. Still, it's one of the most damaging Bangboos on this list, and it's also one of the funnest. Overall, Safety is a safe option for burn and shock focused Belobog team. Butler is a great support Bangboo, foregoing damage on its active skill to provide energy to the on-field character instead. So since only its chain attack does some damage, its damage output and physical anomaly application is very meh to say the least. However, at level 60 it provides a non-negligible 10.5-ish energy to the on-field character, and a bit less if you're not running 2 Victorian housekeeping members. Now with its long animation and 24-second cooldown, the overall energy it provides is a small fraction of your team's energy. Still, every once in a while it can be the difference between pulling off that additional X skill in time. Another nice benefit to Butler is that it has low chain time. And next we also have Booressure, which chews some ether bubblegum I think and makes a bubble which you have to pick up for some energy. Booressure doesn't have a chain attack, and the thing that sets this A rank Bangboo apart from the Butler is that 60 to 100% of its energy is provided to the whole team, provided you have one support character in your team. Unfortunately, you do need to make an effort to sometimes pick up the bubble, unlike Butler who delivers the energy to you. Still, a very serviceable Bangboo that might situationally even be better, depending on if you need full team energy. I'm going to lump both Avocaboo and Exploreboo together. Both these Bangboos provide a bit of healing or a bit of random support in the case of Exploreboo. There is some value and comfort in Hollow Zero, as healing can be valuable in long sustained gameplay modes where otherwise healing might be difficult to come by. Overall though, I don't recommend these Bangboos for Shiyu defense. Magnetiboo, on the other hand, has pretty good grouping capabilities for a Bangboo and is your A-rank Bangboo grouping option. So if you're struggling versus enemies that like to move around a lot, Magnetiboo can help you out. Its condition is interesting, needing an anomaly character to increase his attack range and damage by 30%. Anomaly characters like Grace and Piper definitely appreciate the grouping that this thing provides, as they'll be able to EX special clumped up enemies very efficiently. Sadly, Magnetiboo's grouping's timing can be unreliable since it doesn't have a chain attack to group on demand. Overall though, an attractive choice for attracting your enemies.
Time to act.
Alright, now I know many of you want me to just tell you what the best Bangboo is or which Bangboo you should choose, but I'm actually here to tell you that most of the Bangboos are actually pretty well balanced, trading off damage for frame data or for anomaly or for various other variables. At the moment, Bangboos are a nice addition, but are far from necessary to progress. The overall damage, anomaly, and support they contribute can usually be overcome by just retrying a couple of times or just playing a bit better. Not only that, but we will be getting a steady influx of Bangboo tickets, so any decisions that you make now won't have a huge impact in the long term. Still, Bangboos are non-negligible members of your team, and one of my favorite things about Bangboos is how they significantly improve 1 or 2 member teams for those that enjoy those types of challenge runs. Now in terms of what Bangboo to select, honestly just pick an S-rank Bangboo relevant to your main team or future planned teams. Just check your Bangboo's passive and see which one fits the best with your main team. All the S-rank Bangboos are very solid for their respective factions and elements. Now if you want to know what I'm personally doing, I'm saving up my Bangboo tickets for an S-rank one that I want, or a potentially higher impact Bangboo in the future. This is because at the moment I'm not stuck with progression on my account, and even if I were, the current Bangboos won't really help me push content more than just waiting a couple of days for more stamina will. Also, down in the description below I will have a link to my massive spreadsheet where you can take a look at it more thoroughly. If you notice any issues with it, please let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know what your favorite Bangboo is and which Bangboo you chose and why. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Went to Lose, signing out.